Alright, and we are back to continue with part 7 right now.
It takes a minimum of 8 crew on the bridge to run the ship, so we can expect at least that many hostiles.
If they bioformed Hadri, they know we're coming.
Which means everyone needs to be ready for... Take cover!
Now what? We need that door sealed.
We can handle that. Where do you need us?
There's an access panel there. You should be able to patch into the local systems. We'll be shot getting there. I'll cover you. On my signal. Now! Damn.
I'm just saying, I really feel like I could have moved faster than he did right there. And I wouldn't be nearly as good.
Bridge doors. Wait, what's this?
Got something?
Gravity. If I invert the artificial gravity inside the bridge, that'll throw anyone on the bridge right up into the ceiling.
He'll never see it coming.
Itasca, get ready to charge.
Charge?
Reversing gravity polarity. Now!
Amazing.
Close in!
How do we get them down?
Yeah, no, sorry, real quick. Color me better at running, but not nearly as good at doing complex technical tasks while laser fire is exploding over my head.
What are we gonna do with them?
We don't have time to take prisoners.
So you're just gonna shoot them?
I haven't decided yet.
It's not just up to you.
I'm the ranking officer.
And we're not in your army.
It may not be convenient, but we don't kill enemies who've surrendered.
Keeping prisoners is a luxury we don't have.
It's not a damn luxury.
You're an engineer, not a soldier. This is clearly my territory.
You think you have enemy combatants here? This is a hostage situation. Each one of them has an innocent life inside. I'll keep watch on them.
As will I. We can't let our guard down around the enemy.
Petty Officer Diaz and I will figure out how to stop the ship.
Let's hurry. The rest of the Takan could show up any minute. Crystals. They're all over this place.
Okay, well, before using the tricorder, one thing that the game has made clear is that you should look at things first.
Look here. It's navigational data.
We saw that already. Headed to the edge of the galaxy.
It's only a display. We couldn't use it to change course or alter speed.
So I'm going to look around and then we'll circle back and scan.
Where's the captain?
Captain Ostego did not survive the atmosphere poisoning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He died defending the Empire. That's how he'd want it.
This console looks unaffected.
Sorry, not a big fan of pivoting the camera around, but also want to. I do see the stuff down there. I just want to see if we can interact with the view screens. Or not view screens, but windows. Easier word for them.
Gotta figure this out before we get wherever we're going.
Unless it is a view
Resolute
screen.
can't catch up to us. We're in a whole different kind of trouble. Any trouble?
Don't worry about me. Worry about Stretch over there.
Why?
He's looking for any excuse to vaporize the prisoners. But I'll make sure he doesn't. Even if they're the enemy It's not right.
I'm here if you need a hand.
Just hurry up and figure out this bridge. That's the best way to help.
Everything under control?
Yes, these Takan haven't made a move. Yet.
And what you're doing is working.
There's plenty more I can do. But it doesn't have to be that way. As long as they behave.
Okay, so talking a big game like that in front of the prisoners, like everybody stay in line and nothing bad needs to happen, I am fine with that. But yeah, for sure, we're not going to get into executing prisoners that are sitting there and have submitted, especially, I knew there was something else over here, especially if, like, these people don't want to be Takan, or at least they didn't. That wasn't part of their retirement plan.
Huh.
Careful where you point that thing.
It's not active. I can't see any way this would work as a weapon. It's dead.
Out of ammo?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I am going to see if we can scan this, though. Nope, can't think of anything interesting about the crystal gun. As we're going, it occurs to me that, like, this has a real, like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers feel to it, doesn't it? Where you don't know who's secretly working for the enemy. And it does, again, reform my... Not reform, but it brings up, again, the concerns that I had earlier about Telis? Yeah, Telis, she's right there. Tylis. Where at first it was like, oh, is she not trustworthy because she wants to reclaim her position at the Queen's side? And then it was like, well, no, she really seems to be a person of conscience. There was a whole section where Jara had, like, she was out of sight of Tylis during their infiltration of the mines when they were getting in there. And we now know that the Takan can take over one of these bodies just by having a crystal jammed into the side of the head for like 15 seconds. So is it still Tylis, or is it somebody who's just doing an excellent job of mimicking Tylis because they have access to all of her memories? And that kind of paranoia is what these stories do really well, and I don't know. And I think that it's amazing how well it's working out for me.
There are two interfaces on top of each other.
This is not Lydian programming.
Okay, we're gonna do all of our scannings in a minute. No comment at all. Well, we might as well start here then.
These crystals are Takan technology. They seem to be active, just like the rest of their tech. Tetrametric pulses.
Tetrametric?
It's the energy signature of Takan technology. Everything they make gives off this type of radiation.
They're blocking the inputs. It's not responding at all. Everything I try, it just ignores me.
Maybe we should try that other console.
Good idea.
Yeah, shooting the crystals doesn't seem like a great idea, and then entering her access code right now feels like the surest way to give away her access code.
Engine's a red line, running at full power. But this main drive manifold is spiking way over nominal levels.
Very dangerous.
Even at 100% output, the warp cores wouldn't push this much plasma to the drive section.
That much reactor output would drive us past the theoretical top speed of this ship. So how fast are we actually going?
Wasn't there something over here? Well, there's something over here, yeah.
We're gonna be there in less than an hour.
Can't let that happen.
Hold on, it would take days to go this distance with our fastest ship. We're traveling at a warp factor many times greater than this ship should even be capable of. Even with the engines pushed as hard as they are, they wouldn't produce this speed.
Whether it's these crystals or the power from the Cartabula, the Takan have found a way to increase the engine output and top speed. We have to find a way to hit the brakes before we outrun anyone who could help us.
We stop it, so they can't get this ship where they're going, and enact the next phase of their plan. That is, if they don't destroy us all first. I would have thought this ship would disintegrate going this speed.
We do our part, and just worry about that. I don't know what more they have to their plan.
People like this are never satisfied. There's always more that they want. And they are obviously going somewhere.
I hate to think what the Cartabula could do if it was plugged into something it was meant to power.
Yeah, I feel like Diaz is very optimistic and very, like, I don't know if pragmatic is quite the right thing, very duty-oriented. Like, let's just focus on the task right in front of us, and we'll worry about what comes next after. I did scan the crystal thing, yes. Yeah, because this is the one that he didn't have anything to say about. I don't really remember which of these other things had, like, a viewport. Oh, I should scan the view screen. I wonder, like, in universe Star Trek, would you be able to tell the difference between a view screen and a wall? Or, sorry, a window? Like an actual window that just faced out? Like, they've got holograms and stuff that are really convincing.
It's the Takan language.
From what I can tell, the ship's systems are actively responding to input.
Which is the opposite of how most bridges work. They usually send commands, not receive them.
It's from an intrusive program. This control station won't do us any good either. What have they done to this bridge?
Consoles running themselves, some clogged up with crystals that are sending off tetrametric pulses.
But none of this is sending signals outward. It's receiving.
They're flying the ship from somewhere else.
That should be impossible. But it explains why there's less than a full bridge crew. If they aren't flying the ship from the bridge, where are they controlling it from?
That's everything. We got some answers.
I don't like what they tell us, though.
If we can learn nothing else, then what's left is to make these Takan talk. And if they don't, we'll dispose of them.
Hey, that's not how we do this.
That is enough from you. I thought that thing was useless.
It was. No power. Until he touched it. Weapons must be bio-coded.
Our technology will only work for one of our kind.
I can assure you, this weapon works just fine for me.
Slow down, Arminta.
You can't control this ship with a disruptor.
But I can use it to control you.
Let's talk.
The Titan's communications officer says Captain Riker will be ready in just a moment. You need to see this. The report on the data breach.
Damn. It's worse than I'd hoped. They didn't just compromise our shields. They stole the shield algorithms for all of Starfleet as well. Meaning every ship is potentially vulnerable to attack, making this so much worse than it already was.
Given the potential consequences, we should notify Starfleet as soon as possible.
I don't disagree, but I'll reach out to Ambassador Spock about it. I don't want to cause a panic, and I doubt he does either.
I have Captain Riker for you.
Let's not mention any of this shield business to Riker just yet. Put him through. Captain Riker, This is my first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
My pleasure.
Sir.
I wish we were all meeting under better circumstances.
So do I, although you and I have actually met before.
We have.
I was a young lieutenant on the Potemkin. You were first officer on the Tuckerman. I piloted you and our science officer in a shuttle to survey quantum resonance in the planetary rings of Resurgence 6.
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
You know, he gave me some good advice that day about a very difficult job. Yours.
Well, I'm not one to turn down some words of wisdom, sir.
Then let me ask, as first officer on a starship, where does your responsibility lie, first and foremost? To the captain, the crew, or the ship itself?
Oh, this old chestnut. I am curious to hear what she says, though.
Ultimately, my responsibility is to the crew at large.
The needs of the many. You have been hanging around Ambassador Spock. But the truth is, it's a trick question. Every situation is different, and there are no easy answers. And in some cases, it might not be any of those three. It could be the prime directive. Or the mission.
Yes, so perhaps we should get to the matter at hand. When you were with the Enterprise, you encountered a Takan entity known as Portal 6-3. The Enterprise was held captive in orbit until you were able to convince him to let the ship go.
All of which is detailed in the mission report.
What we want from you is what we can't get from the report. What can we use to get Portal 6-3 to help us?
I've often thought about that over the years. How a small difference in the encounter could have led to disaster. The most important thing is, don't let him push you around. He can appear as a man or as a godlike projection. He'll test you, but don't be overwhelmed by the pageantry and theatrics.
I'll stand up to him. You can trust in that.
Good, but that's just the first step. Portal is full of bluster and bravado, but he can be reasoned with. And that's my other piece of advice. You want to appeal to him rationally. You don't want him thinking you're acting out of fear.
But we are afraid of the Takan, and with good reason.
He's not the sort to suffer fools. And he'll lose interest if he feels his time is being wasted.
I suppose that's one thing we have in common.
What other levers do we have with him? Is he susceptible to flattery?
Who isn't? And if you're good enough to play off his ego, even an entity as advanced as he is won't realize that's what you're doing.
What if he won't cooperate and we have to face these Takan ourselves?
Then we have a much bigger problem on our hands.
What I mean is, in the 16 years since you discovered this outpost, there has to have been research. Battle plans for what to do about the Takan if we encountered more of them. I need to know what they are.
If I had that answer, it would have been the first thing I told you.
We both know Command has had their share of hidden plans in the past. Like Admiral Hansen and Captain Shelby's Special Projects Division at Starfleet Tactical, devising new ways to take on the Borg.
Trust me, this isn't some Starfleet conspiracy to keep you in the dark. But if you two don't think you're equipped to make contact, you need to tell me now. Because there is no silver bullet here. Now's not the time to hesitate. I need to know you're up to this.
You're not the only one who's met the Takan anymore. We've faced them in combat. We're not just the right ones for the job. We're the only ones.
All right. Asked and answered. There was a special task force that considered the Takan, and I was part of it. But because there were no other signs of the Empire, we determined the best course of action was to create a restricted zone around the Delphi-Ardu system. I have my concerns, but I'll clear the way with the brass for your travel into the restricted space. Just remember what I've told you. And it wouldn't hurt to read some Sun Tzu en route. Or Marcus Aurelius.
Anything else?
Your advice is well taken, Captain Riker. No matter what he throws at us, we'll stand up to this Takan Guardian.
I'm sure you will. Rest assured, the Federation is taking this threat very seriously. You won't be alone out there for too long.
Thank you, Captain Riker.
One more thing. Ambassador Spock said that Takan stole some data from your central computer. What's that all about?
We're still assessing the extent of the breach. Nothing to report as of right now.
That's it? Ambassador Spock suggested it was something more serious.
One thing we know is that they stole Starfleet shield algorithms.
The shield algorithms? That could jeopardize every ship in the fleet.
We're still making sure our assessment is accurate. We don't want to raise alarms unnecessarily.
This is as real as it gets, Solano. I have to talk to Starfleet Command now, so I think this conversation has come to an end. I really do hope you get Portal 6-3 and find those Takan before this gets out of control. Riker out.
I specifically said I wanted to keep this under wraps. I thought we had an understanding. Now all of Starfleet will hear about this.
Considering this is new information Ambassador Spock doesn't have yet, I figured Captain Riker would be the closest to communicate directly with Starfleet Command.
Now the cat's out of the bag. I have to think about the damage control of it all. You're dismissed.
Oh, this is not a well man.
It's the automated Federation warning buoy. Transmitting the disable code Captain Riker provided.
That was unpleasant. Commander Ermont, what are the conditions of our systems?
All internal systems operational.
Commander Westbrook, what are your scans of the planet?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
No sign of this outrageously powerful Takan being?
I'm running a magneton scan now, but so far, nothing.
Where are you? Prep your way, team. We don't know if Portal 6-3 will cooperate. If he's not an asset, he's an enemy. So be ready for anything.
Wait, is one of them gonna materialize upside down like Geordi?
Prove you're worth keeping alive for a little while longer.
I cannot stop this ship any more than you could stop the tides.
Not good enough.
The impotent threats of a lower life form do not sway me. I will not bend to you. I was born 600,000 years ago.
Are you the scion of the flame?
My name is Zan Utlosa. I was born in the final days of the Age of Makto. And we are all scions of the flame. Every one of us who have traveled across the Bridge of Time to be here for the Great Awakening. We have all sworn ourselves to the cause.
Eventually, one of you will break.
You don't understand how overmatched you truly are. This craft was nothing before we imbued it with the speed required by our mission. And the Cartabula produces enough energy to drive an entire fleet of ships like this one. But when we wake the Aphelion, we won't need a fleet.
The Aphelion?
Only then will you understand the might of the Takan Empire. Reborn in this time.
And when you wake the Aphelion, what are you going to do with it?
Anything we want.
Come on! This goes from bad to worse unless you do what they say.
It's coming alive.
He can't stop the ship.
Then he will. Or we cut off his hands and use them ourselves.
The moment I reduce speed or change our heading, the others will know. First, they'll just resume course from elsewhere. Trivial matter. And then, they will come here. For you, this is a dead end.
Okay, we do need a new plan, but I don't want him to know that.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Not if they're just going to start it again.
So you believe him?
I'm not sure.
Why would you tell us all this?
I tell you, because I value my own life. When my fellow Scions come, and they will come, I expect you'll all act like the savages you are, and a battle will ensue. We've all died once. I don't intend to do so again. I won't touch those controls. If you want to get us killed, do it yourselves.
You fear death. There's a way to stop this ship for good. And he knows how. He just needs more pressure.
What kind of pressure?
We heard him. He'll talk. Trust me.
That's against Starfleet protocol.
You're not on a Starfleet ship. Your protocol does not apply. We take the action that will lead to our victory. Don't assume your moral code takes precedence above all others.
I'm not gonna torture them. Not like this. But there's gotta be something we can work with here. This area here?
Power generation. The warp cores.
It's deserted. What's this?
This display shows the location of the Tacon on the ship. This is where the infiltrators are. The central artery of ship systems. Sensors, propulsion, weapons. Doesn't seem to be working here.
This is weird. Going this fast, it would be too dangerous to force a warp collapse by cracking one of the propulsion coils. I could rupture the hull, end up damaging the Cartabula in the process.
And that risks tearing a hole in space.
We can't have that.
Engine status. Right. The warp cores are still practically redlined. However they've supercharged the Zeldi, it still relies on existing systems.
They just amplify the output?
But the Tacon have already interfaced with those systems. The controls will be no use. So we'd have to find a way to manually shut down the warp cores.
Might not be a manual shutdown as much as it'll be sabotage.
No one appears to be guarding it. I think I can get us there. But once we're in, do you really think you can cripple my ship? Not something I'd normally ask. But I'm coming around to it.
I got this. I'm an engineer. This is my territory.
Then we'll follow your lead.
This plan of yours has one problem. It strands us. Left out of the fight when there is a war going on.
Our fight is here, now. This is how we do the most good. For the Empire.
For the Empire.
So, Carter, you didn't beam out after all. I thought you'd escaped when we boarded. I had almost hoped you'd made it off. And Millie's there with you too, right? It's good you two are together. I know you're here, Carter. Your technology is so simple to us. You're not a fighter. I know it. You know it. That's why you're hiding. Somewhere on this ship. But the Tacon Empire has so much to offer you. Think of all the knowledge lost for 500,000 years that you'd have access to. I know you want more from life, and I want to show you what you could be a part of. Not just the wonders you've already seen from us. In our time, we had the power to move stars. Carter, you have a thirst for discovery.
In case you forgot, we were a part of something. I still am. The Federation may not be perfect, but it stands for ideals that your people clearly do not believe in.
We have our own ideals. And we have our own strength. Every one of us on this crusade has fought wars more brutal and consuming than you could fathom. But I want to reach a peaceful resolution to this. Carter, we have a plan for you. And for the others, too. We don't want to have to destroy you.
They seem to like to boast and talk about their plans a lot.
What's this plan you have? Is it the one where you steal our bodies and erase our minds?
That's a simplistic view of it. Your memories would live on within us. We can continue this conversation in person. I'll see you on the bridge very soon.
Our comm badges. She's tracking our location with them.
If we have to use force to free our fellow Scions, there will be casualties.
We can't stay here. And we need to disable the transmitters.
Where'd you go? You don't want to talk to me?
She's trying to keep you talking.
I mean, I get it. But I'm trying to help you.
Got it.
Mine's done too.
Time to hit the road.
You've forgotten something. They know where we're going.
Set to stun. You're not going to shoot a guy who's unconscious, are you?
You keep getting in my way.
We've managed this far without doing it your way.
We are hardly in control of this situation.
You two forget you're on the same side? Come on! Now let's move it.
Our coordinates match the exact location where Riker met Portal 6-3.
Unlike Riker's team, we beamed down without a problem.
It's quiet.
Portal has to know we're here.
If he won't come to us, we'll go to him. Spread out.
Sorry. It would have been amazing if the thing that Riker forgot to put into his report was the fact that the transporter didn't work, and like Geordi appeared upside down and he was all alone. Like, he's so embarrassed about going anybody that he just left that detail out. But if they knew about the transporter problem, it feels like I would have taken a different route down, like the shuttlecraft, but maybe time is of the essence.
Already gave it a scan. Dead. Whole planet feels like it's been turned to stone.
More specifically, time is of the essence, and that's why they decided to do it this way.
Doctor?
Commander, keeping an eye on those iridium levels? Good. Last thing we need are your cells destabilizing on a hostile alien planet.
I feel like I still don't really know the range at which the tricorder will start color coding things that you can touch or scan.
Burn marks.
The report mentioned phaser fire being redirected toward these strange crystals.
It also mentioned Portal calling down lightning bolts.
Better keep our guards up.
Well, I really hope I'm thinking of the right episode.
If I recall right, Geordi LaForge transported in here, hanging upside down.
I guess we're lucky we were spared the indignity.
It just raises further questions about why they took the transporter. Oh, wait.
Anything unusual, Commander?
It's all unusual, to be honest. We've precious little data on this planet, so brief was Captain Riker's visit. Anything he didn't see himself is a total unknown.
We deal with unknowns all the time. Part of the job.
I'm accustomed to dealing with the unknown from my station on the bridge.
By the way, I have a great feeling about this guy's future, and yeah, her. They're gonna be just fine. Don't worry about it.
This is where Portal 6-3 projected his image.
He was guarding this bridge. That has to mean something.
We'll move forward when you're ready, Commander.
Let me do a quick once around here. Oh, that's right. It's gonna trill at us when we can scan something, or at least sometimes it does. It seems to be more interested in doing that when scanning something is integral to moving the plot forward. Oh, I don't know where this goes.
Portal 6-3! Anybody!
Oh, I love you, game devs. She doesn't do it the right way, but no, I'll take it. I swear to God, I thought I was the only person on planet Earth that remembered that. Okay, I need to stop being so entertained by this. We're gonna move forward. I guess, like, while we're walking down here, this is like a Peter David story. If anybody doesn't know, Peter David is, as far as I remember, a prolific author and comic book writer and Star Trek author. And one of the things that is very common in his books is he will tell a new story that's predicated on, like, some not particularly like basically the central premise of some like old episode. So he'll tell like a next generation story that's based around something that had happened in the original series, or like at one point he had his own, I think it was called like New Frontier, where he had some stories that were based on like other things that were just sort of like incidental drop details in some episode, and he would flesh them out into a full thing. One of his best books, sorry, I need to go, is Imzadi. Imzadi 2, I didn't care very much about, but Imzadi told the story about Riker meeting Troy for the first time, and the whole Imzadi thing, the whole like origin of their relationship. It's a really great book. It feels like it was declared non-canon by a future episode of Next Generation. Like that was written a while ago, but I really like the way that he ties together different incidental bits of Star Trek lore in a way that feels like a more cohesive whole. And I feel like that's what this aspect of the story is doing, and I'm really enjoying that.
These crystals are dormant.
Riker's report said they were glowing, that they served as energy collectors. It could be a good sign they're inactive. The Guardian of the Takan doesn't have his guard up.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we got to scan that. I want to get all the, like, dialogue, but I feel like we've done a pretty thorough... Oh, I really thought something was going to happen when we walked on the bridge.
Follow me. Ends here. Is it me, or did that path just disappear?
There was a path there a moment ago.
There must be an explanation.
Tetrametric pulses.
Same energy as the other Takan technology.
Most of the crystals appear dormant. What's different about this one?
Readings indicate there's a cavity in the rock right behind it.
We could try melting a hole through the wall with our phasers.
Worth a try. Nothing.
There's gotta be a weakness. Somewhere it isn't totally solid. Whoa!
An illusion.
I'm sure that wall was as real as the rest of them. I felt it.
It's almost like our holodeck technology, but far more advanced.
The crystals must be absorbing the energy from our phasers.
I'm picking up something. A biosignature. It's faint, but it's there.
With me.
Another dead end.
Or another illusion.
Crewman LaRue, if you would.
Duval to Resolute. Beam Crewman LaRue directly to medical.
Is he okay?
He'll live.
Not all crystals work the same, it seems.
Don't fire your phasers at any crystals unless we're sure they're putting out the same pulses as before.
I legitimately thought that Dr. Duval was going to say, beam him directly to the morgue. Oh, they had to have at least... I guess he was technically a blue shirt, wasn't he? Or was he yellow? I don't remember. But now that red means command, they had to switch up their... This is going to be the person who educates everyone on the stakes of the... Oh, look, it's still doing the radiation thing. See how, like, all the lights on the left are all red up. Greened up. Hold on, can I ask her, hey, did you know that guy? He owed her money?
Tetrametric. Good sign.
Yeah, tetrametric radiation detected. This crystal may be creating an illusion that can be dispelled with a phaser blast. Before we do that, though, let me just... take a quick scan around. Okay, I don't feel like anybody else is...
Commander!
Look at that.
Trust, but verify.
Indeed.
Westbrook comes off like a prick a lot of the times, but I do respect the way that he thinks.
Aside from the breathable atmosphere, this is a remarkably inhospitable planet. Traces indicate there was once living flora, but it's been dead so long it's practically turned to stone.
From what Portal told Riker, it was an outpost to defend the far edge of the Takan Empire.
Well, it's not that now. Now, it's a grave. We don't have any data about what's below the surface on Delphi Ardu 4. And I don't feel a particularly strong urge to find out.
Then that makes two of us.
Yeah. Smoke.
More crystals. Need a way across.
One of these has it.
Good.
I really don't think that we're going to find anything among these crystals that's like, this really advances the story, but it doesn't hurt to just give it a once around. The science officer dude, he was... Oh. I was gonna say, he crossed the bridge with Jara, didn't he? It's like moments ago. It just seems weird that he's not, like, with her.
Tetrametric. Better go see what's different.
Oh. Okay, so the gap is still here, but this was a path, and now it's not. Look with your from the open balcony. There may be a crystal on a far-off peak you can discover. Or phaser. Is that not it? Oh, maybe it wasn't the right one, though. No, that's definitely it.
The way's clear. Good work, Commander.
We'll make sure it's safe.
Incredible.
The plants here are actually alive. Is this the biosignature you detected, Doctor?
No. Not a match.
Tetrametric.
Then it's creating an illusion as well.
Based on the data we have so far.
Only one thing left to do.
Doctor, be ready to beam us out if it turns out we're wrong.
Duval to Resolute. Lock transporter on away team.
Amazing.
There's nothing like this in any Federation record.
The plants.
Barbarians.
It's him.
How dare you disturb me? I'd hoped you had enough sense to leave of your own accord, but here you stand. Fools. In another time, I would have destroyed you and your ship simply for setting foot in this place. Fortunately for you, that time has passed.
Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire. We've come a long way to meet you.
Guardian. I am guardian of nothing. The Takan no longer exist. Don't care to be reminded. If this is why you've come, then you should leave. Now.
I'm surprised you don't know. With your powers, can't you learn anything?
I can. But you should mind your words.
The Resolute's database is being accessed.
The Takan have returned? After so long, how could they? Explain. Now.
Draconian technology made it possible. To enable the transfer of consciousness from one being to another after physical death. We call it bioforming. A group of Draconians calling themselves Scions of the Flame used it to reawaken after hundreds of millennia.
Scions of the Flame?
Is something wrong?
I'd hardly call them Takan. They were a radical faction with beliefs outside the mainstream. Beliefs that lesser life forms should serve as vessels to ensure Tkon immortality. You want me to help you destroy them. That's why you've come. You want to destroy these scions.
There is a war looming that could engulf the Quadrant. We want you to help us bring about peace before it gets to that point.
Peace always comes at a cost.
They have an incredibly powerful energy source they call the Cartabula.
These scions have the Cartabula.
And they've used it as a weapon against us.
I will speak with you alone.
What are you... Where are we? Where's my team?
They're safe where we left them. That the scions have stolen the Cartabula is deeply concerning. And to be honest, I'd rather speak with you alone, John Rydick. Your colleagues don't know what it means to be the last of one's kind. You and I are remnants of fallen civilizations. The Kobliad, the Tkon. One dying, one dead. Our species could not be more different, but we both know the meaning of loss. The others wouldn't understand. It's beyond their ability to comprehend.
But I'm not alone in the Federation. I'm a part of something larger, just like your Tkon Empire was.
We are not the same.
By the way, if this guy goes to like swing his halberd at my face, am I supposed to not do the quick time event and just stand there? Because that's what worked for Riker. He flubbed his quick time and it worked out for him. Also, Riker straight up said, like, you have to show strength. So where I was saying before, like, I don't need to show strength, I need to be strong. Prepare for, like, some...
Tell me, why spend your days away from your own people when so few of them are left? Why live your life working for this federation to which the Kobliad do not even belong? And submit yourself to their authority? It makes no sense. Not by my logic.
The Federation isn't an authority to be obeyed. At its heart, it's a set of principles meant to ensure the survival and safety of all species, regardless of their origin. You told Riker you'd wait until you were needed. You're needed now. We need you.
As much as it pains me to learn the Cartabula has fallen into the hands of the scions, my services are not up for offer.
I was going to say, prepare for some, like, braggadocio here. If necessary. Although, so far he seems perfectly open to just, like, diplomacy.
To be chosen as a portal was to give one's entire self to the cause of protecting the Tkon Empire. I left behind everything I know, and now you want me to turn against my own people. A betrayal of my oath, and everything I vowed to protect.
Every Tkon that comes back does so by stealing someone's body. They are killing to come back.
What you call bioforming, we thought of as a marginal science. But if these reborn Tkon plan to restore the Empire, is that a disaster to be avoided? Tkonian technology is so advanced, it could save millions of species currently on the brink of extinction, including your own. And at the price of a small few, think of how the many could benefit. Instead, it sounds as if you are reacting out of fear, before you have a full understanding of what's at stake. I don't think you've given this full consideration. You may have more to gain than to lose.
You told me your people didn't use bioforming. That's because you knew it was wrong. Wrong to employ on an individual basis, and surely wrong on a galactic scale.
You are correct. The Takan did not use bioforming on a large scale. That the way these scions are using it would not have been accepted when the Empire still stood. I'm curious to see these scions masquerading as true Takan. So I will go with you, and we shall find them. But when we do, I will judge them myself as a guardian of the Takan. To understand their true intentions, for better or worse.
It's certainly your right to make your own decisions. I won't tell you otherwise.
Very well. I'll return now.
Commander!
Hold your fire. I'm all right. He's coming with us.
We assumed the worst.
She's perfectly fine. Now then, shall we?
All right. We can beam up your... Do you have any equipment or tools?
Whoa.
This is all I need.
Away team +1, ready to beam up.
Okay, that's probably going to be a good place to call it for part 7. I will say that with Jar Rydek being away from everybody else in a situation where they know that getting jammed with that crystal for a few seconds turns you into a secret Takan agent, but also that they can scan you with a tricorder, it really seems to me like Westbrook and Dr. Duvall there might have just held a tricorder up to her for a quick second and then nodded to one another that she was okay. But anyway, let's call it there, and we'll see you again for part 8 in just a few moments.